Oh, hi. I had a little bit of a false start before, but I'm back now. Hopefully, people will find me. Come and say hi. It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's very wet on the ground. It seems to be the way of things these days. It hasn't stopped raining in New Zealand it hasn't stopped raining where I am, not the whole of New Zealand. It hasn't stopped raining where I am for, I don't know, over a week, more than a week. It's just been horrendous rain, nonstop. And I'm solar powered, and this rain doesn't agree with me too well because I need the sun, but it's sunny now and it's sort of sticky, sort of hot and sticky. All right, I can see you coming in the door. It's lovely to see you. Hi again, Helen. So I had a little bit of a hiccup, but we're back and hopefully we're all good to go. Yay, fingers crossed. That should be good. All righty. Yay, it's lovely and sunny in Sydney. Hey, Liz, nice to see you. Yay, welcome back. I have to ditch the other one. Tell people I'm over here. And hopefully they'll all know. It's good to see you both on YouTube and on Facebook. Thank you so much for all my birthday wishes last week. Someone said they've been enjoying my birthday photos. Yeah, I had some photos up. I posted some photos of little Libby when she was young. And yeah, it's funny, isn't it? All the homemade dresses that my mother used to make. Endless homemade clothes, homemade bits and pieces. So it was fun posting those, and thank you all much for your fabulous birthday wishes. I had a really nice day, and then it kind of extended into the weekend, and it was really good. I had a lovely time. I have sunshine. Look, it's unusual, Tanya, very unusual. It's been torrential rain. We had a break in it yesterday afternoon for a bit, but it's really muggy up here. It's super muggy, and I don't know what to do with myself. I don't cope very well in the muggy, wet. I need sunshine. Bab says my mum used to make all our clothes too. Yeah, all our clothes, everything. I used to sometimes get a bag of hand-me-downs that would be dumped on the hall floor, and we'd go through that. But excuse me. No, otherwise all hand-me-downs. I don't remember. I don't think there were that many shops anyway. Not that my parents had any money to spend in them, but I don't think that there were that many shops. There was Susan and Samuel's, I remember, was a shop that sometimes we used to get hand-me-downs from. Time to get ready for Christmas. I know. Actually, I had my first thought about Christmas today. About a Christmas present. I got some nice new mugs for my mum for my birthday. It's really pretty. She gave me these 2 pretty cups. I always love a cup. So I thought I would show a couple of things today. One, there is new yarn in the house. Yay, yay. Finally, we've been waiting for ages for the DK versions of a few of the skeins. I've also, the other ones I restocked that had gone were Rebel, which was the hot pink. And I think the other one was, I can't remember. Oh, Storyteller. I think the other brownie one was also restocked. But these are the 3 that everybody has just bought, and they were sold out really quickly. So they're back. They're back for now. I might be able to get hold of a tiny bit more. I'll try. But that's it until about May next year, I think. So I thought I'd just remind you really quickly. This one is Hope. And this is the one I use for gingerbread. Ginger Snap. Do you remember? I've worn it, and it's, look, it doesn't pill. I've worn this a lot. It's got a little bit of dog hair on it, probably. But I've worn it a lot. It gets these little pills like this that you can just pull off. It really doesn't get pilly. Oh, look, it's wearing a pill out just a little bit under the arm. But once these pills are pulled off, you're going to find this isn't pilly. It's lovely. It'll last for ages. So this is the Hope that I use for Ginger Snap. And it's the one that has the little patterning at the bottom. See, there's a few more. You just yank those ones off. It's so easy and quick just to de-pill this. So there's that one. I've worn it to pieces, and that was Hope, and it hasn't been washed. There's one that's just Wardrobe Toolbox at the moment, but it will be coming out for everybody next year. But this one is Wayfarer, and it's got 2 versions of sleeves in the pattern. I did a little cropped sleeve, which I enjoy wearing, and it's sort of a shorter little square jumper. So there's that one, Wayfarer, and in the pattern it's got longer sleeves. So that will be out next year. So this one was in the Liberty. And the Liberty it's such a lovely color, and it's so hard to see it on the screen, but it's got a really because it's dyed on the oatmeal base, it has that oatmeal coming through, and it really is lovely. It's such a light color, but with this lovely oatmeal background. I don't know how well you're going to see it on there, but it's quite a spectacular color. So that one's oatmeal. It's the color of my grandfather's eyes. I mean, that one's not oatmeal. That one's Liberty. He used to call me Liberty. And that's the color of my grandfather's eyes. He's very olive like me, but had these big blue eyes. And I always knew him with this thick head of silver hair, which I imagine I will. It looks like I'm rapidly getting. So I will probably have that this time next year. Okay, so this is the last one of those three. And this is the other one I've done a pattern in so far. Oh, apart from Hebe, you know Hebe. It's the one that has, these are the yarns up there. It's the one that has that mucky gold color. I love that color. So this is Maudie, and I knitted Maudie. Now, Maudie in the pattern picture doesn't have this color, but this is the one I did when the yarn came out for Maudie. Well, I had Claire knitted it for me actually, but this is Maudie in the Courage. And if you haven't tried the Courage yet, really, and you feel like a bit of a pep, you feel like you need a bit of dynamite to like feel fabulous, this is your color, right? It's absolutely beautiful, rich, bluey green. It's quite a tealy, it's quite a green teal, actually, bluey green. It looks more blue on my screen, but it's actually quite a greeny teal. I can't quite get the color right. It's got a lot more green to it than you'll probably see, but it's beautiful. And I tell you what, you feel fantastic in it. This one is quite nourishing, and this one is sort of, I don't know, you just feel like possibilities when you wear this one. That one feels quite a soul warming, nourishing color to wear for me. But that one, Courage, is a perfect name for it. You really feel, right, let's do this day. That's what you feel like. So that's Maudie, and she's knitted up in that one. And because the gauge was slightly out, you'll remember that this is the size smaller than I would normally knit in order to achieve the size that I was after. So it's a really nice little neat cardigan. You can have a look at the photos of it, of me wearing it. You'll see that it's quite a sort of a snappy little cardigan. Okay, let's have a look at your comments. Showery weather, torrential rain. Look, these people must be ringing in from New Zealand. Stephanie says, I remember turning 16 and longing for a shop bought outfit. Yes, when I started earning money, I got a job at Georgie Pie when I was 16. I don't know how many of you knew Georgie Pie. I used to have paper runs. I got my first job when I was about 10, actually, but that was a paper run. And I got paper runs, and I used to have to collect the money for the Auckland Star. Those of you in Auckland will remember. And I used to have to go door to door and get everyone's money. I would have only been 11 or 12. I was quite young when I did that, maybe 12 or 13. And so I did all those jobs, and then at 14, I did babysitting as well, because there was no rules on babysitting. I used to babysit every Monday night, some kids up the road from us. I was quite young when I did that. But when I turned 14, I got this job at Georgie Pie. Well, it was amazing. The money was amazing in those days. I think I got about $7 an hour, $6 or $7 an hour, and used to get time and a half on Saturday and double time on Sunday. So I felt like, all possibilities were open to me at that point. I loved working down there. I worked down there till I was about 21 because I needed it. Whereas every time I came back from university, I'd go back and do some more shifts down there. But there was Shanton Apparel. You remember Shanton? I don't even know if it's still around. It probably is. And I remember getting myself some clothes at Shanton with my money. But the other thing I did was I actually subscribed to the Vogue sewing magazine, and I would get the Vogue sewing magazine would arrive however often it arrived. I had quite a lot of them, so it might have been monthly. And I used to order patterns out of the Vogue sewing book, the pattern book. I don't even know if they do that anymore. And then sew. And so when I turned 21, I didn't have a party when I turned 21, but I did make myself an outfit, and I made myself this Vogue outfit with this sort of long line linen jacket and shorts, and then this little top that went underneath it. So I definitely, I didn't really go shopping until I started work many years later after university, but I used to sew everything as well. Okay. It was fun. Those were the days, weren't they? Right, this is what happens when you do 3 gorgeous jumpers in each of those colors. It's exactly right, and so everybody has just gone, and bought all these. So there's I'm gonna have to see if I can get a little bit more of the courage, because there's not much left of that already, because you've already dove in and got it. But there is DK yarn is pretty well stocked at the moment, so go and have a little look. Someone said, "I just finished my Wayfarer yesterday. It's lovely." Oh, goody. It's a good one. Shona, is the delivery charge a flat rate to Perth? Yeah. So I've had the delivery charge. So I use a courier. There's flat rates depending on where you are. Australia, New Zealand's different. There is a flat rate, but there's also a rural rate. So New Zealand has 2 rates. And there's a flat rate for Australia, a flat rate for the US, and a flat rate for Europe. And then there's this flat rate for everywhere else in the world. So at the moment, that it just is what it is. I just cannot believe the prices of the couriers. And the problem at the moment is, I just got an email the other day, and they said that was actually a little while ago, and they said that the courier price will go up at least 7.9% next year. So this is a killer, isn't it? It's just crazy prices. But so in the meantime, I'm just going to do that. I mean, I've just got it what it is for the courier. The good thing about it is you get your stuff fast. I'm not putting it on a boat, so you won't wait 3 months to get it if you're in another country. It will come to you quick as we can on an airplane. So that is the bonus of using a courier. I could send them by sea, I suppose, but I think that it might be cheaper. I don't actually know now, but it would be really slow. So the good thing is, at least you get it quickly. And for the cost of the yarn, because there's still only $9.95 New Zealand for a ball. So that's kind of the same in Australian dollars. It's a little bit cheaper for you. American US dollars and pounds, that's you're doing quite well at the moment, given the exchange, especially the US with the exchange rate. This is a really, really good priced yarn at the moment with the exchange rate. So it's kind of a toss up, really, isn't it, at the moment? Georgie Pie. Georgie Pie, yes, I said it like. I even worked at Georgie Pie when they had the brown uniform, and then they changed to the burgundy uniform. So I was there a long time. On the Sunshine Coast, and a bit overcast here. It's nice from the high temperatures we've been having. Whew, okay, well, that's different to here, that's for sure. Morgan also loves shopping at Shanton. Sitting up in bed and watching the tide come in. It's nearly up to my garden. It's so lovely, the sun coming in, all lovely and clean after the rain. Well, that is true. It is true. The rain has really cleaned everything. It really has. Yep. Tanya remembers all of those things. George Pye, the Auckland Star, and Shanton Apparel. Yep, those 1980s. And Wendy remembers too. Someone said, I lived in Shanton gear when I first started work. Brilliant. I know all of those old things. Oh, it's funny. Those were the days, long days. Although I went out the other night and I was a lot of young people there. And I thought, oh, I'm quite glad not to be young anymore. I'm quite glad to be old. That's what I thought. It's quite good. I enjoy it that there's all these young people. I really enjoy them. And I'm so glad that there are lots of young people, but I do enjoy being a little bit older now. Tanya says, I'm new to just buying yarn, not buying it to go with a pattern. How much yarn would you recommend? I know that sounds like, how long is a piece of string? Yes. Okay. So Tanya, I think you can go by what you've used before for a pattern. So if you've made a DK garment before, go for what you used before. So for example, and I'm not sure, you kind of will know for your size. But I would go in the ballpark of that, and I would maybe throw in just a little bit more for swatching and for making changes. So that's one way of doing it. Look and see existing patterns, how much they ask for, and then go in that ballpark. So for example, I would choose 5 to 6 balls for me. But if I want to do a lot of swatching, I'd probably go 6, maybe even 7 if I wanted to do a lot of swatching of DK. Whereas for a fingering, I know that if I get 4 skeins, I'm usually good. Unless I want something to be particularly big, and then I might get 5, but usually I get 4, and often I can squeeze things out of 3. So you start to know what you wear. There's also a fabulous app, and I have it on my phone, and it's called Stashbot. This is the Stashbot app, and I don't know if it's back to front for you. If it is, I'm sorry. So Stashbot was the brainchild of a woman called Hannah Fettig, Fettig, and she had a brand called Knitbot. And Knitbot was a design brand years ago. I don't think she's done any designing for a while, but I'm not sure. She may have. But she and her husband created this Stashbot, and I love it. I love this. I think it's very, very good. So you buy it, and I have a feeling it's only for iPhone. So I'm sorry if you don't have it. Um, the You can scroll along the top, and you can see different garments and projects you might want to make. And then and scarves, socks, right through. So I often am up here in the garments. And then you can put in yards. I don't know if is that shining all right. And then you can put in your chest circumference. And if you click here, you can go into inches or centimeters. And then you put in your gauge per I have to look at it now, per inch or per centimeter or per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. So you pop that in, and then it tells you how much you can use in meters or in yards. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really good. It's a nice one to have on your phone if you're at a shop, or if you're just looking to use something you're not entirely sure. You can go through, because it's got a vest or a shrug. I mean, that would be a good one for like a summer top. And then cropped sweater, obviously, makes sense. Average length sweater, and then a long sweater. So depending on the length of the yarn, the length of the sleeves, the length of the body, how full you want your body, you can muddle between those to work out, oh, well, this is like cropped, but it's really wide. So I might go for this particular garment. I might go for the bigger garment over the smaller one. But it is only available on iPhone. Stashbot. I have said for years now, I think it would be worth writing to them and saying, please, can you put it out on Android? Because they were planning to do it for Android as well. So you could ask them. But in the meantime, go back to patterns you've already used and write down how much yarn you've used. This is where a knitting journal can be quite helpful, because you could write down exactly how much yarn you use for a particular project. And then when you come back again, you can check back again. I've used that yarn, or I've used something very similar to it, or this is my ballpark for this weight. I think it's quite nice to make a note of what you're doing. Just even if it's just a notebook, and just write down what you used each time. I think that would be quite good to do that. And if you keep your record of things on Ravelry, that's another good place to go and have a little look too. Keep notes there. Becky says, I'm knitting a swatch and I'm struggling to get gauge. I'm using Kremke. I don't know how you say that. Kremke. Kremke. Soul wool reborn denim. So is it like a recycled denim, Becky? Is that what it is? Is it like a sounds like all those words might be telling me it's a upcycled denim. Let me know. That sounds interesting. And of course, a yarn like that, it might be difficult to get gauge, because if I'm right, and if it is some sort of upcycled thing, then it might be that the way they spin it is interesting. What sort of, because a lot of companies, they will have an idea of how much yardage, because of economics, trying to make a viable product. They will know, well, you need to get this much yardage into a ball or a skein, and therefore, if we want to make it this weight, this is how long it's going to be. It all comes in. They have to obviously count every penny. So they work out standards and then try and stick to those. Tanya's also glad to be born in the 60s. Yeah, I think we have to embrace this ourselves. Would knitting calculator on Android be the same? I don't know, actually, Sue. It could well be. I imagine, look, some clever person has probably thought of one for Android. So I would have a hunt through and see. The thing I like about this is it's so visual, and you just slide, boom, there you go. And you can make easy adjustments. I don't know. I don't have an Android, so I'm not sure about the other one. But I'd have a poke around and just see, and maybe do a search for Android and see what they've got. Hi, Bernadette. Nice to see you. Oh, brilliant, Tanya. Hopefully that's helpful. Here we go. Morgan says, knitting calculator helps you work out how to increase evenly across the row. Yes, so knitting calculator that I know, which is Mimi Dodd, or a name like that. She has something called knitting calculator, which I do know will help you calculate if you have to bung in a whole lot of increases into a row and you don't want to do the maths yourself. You can put in how many stitches you've got, how many stitches you need to add, and then it will spit out the solution for you. So I know that knitting calculator, as I know it, does that, and that's on the computer. I don't know, maybe it's an app as well. It might be. Oh, here we go. So Becky says, yes, denim and labels and a bit of linen and cotton, I think. Denim and labels. Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. And a bit of linen and cotton. So I guess, gosh, it'd be really interesting yarn, Becky. And I guess the other thing to think about it is, what does denim do when we wear it? It stretches. So I guess it's weighty and it has sag and it stretches. So don't forget to take that into account as well. If it's not, depends how tightly it's spun, but denim's pretty heavy and it hangs and then it stretches out and then we wash it and it goes back to shape. It could be really fun actually to have a bash with, couldn't it? Okay, Sabrina. Thank you, Sabrina. She said here, from the Stashbot site, many Android users have asked about Stashbot, probably because I tell them to all the time. So we're working on it. To receive updates about Stashbot to Android, join the mailing list. You can enter your email for updates. I will do that. And I think just drop them a line because I feel like they might have had that message for a few years now. So maybe just say, we really, really want it. We'd love it, please. Oh, someone's saying, hi, Becky. I've knitted with this. Oh, so you must mean the denim. It's very light cotton. It has no memory. And so ensure the fabric you knit is dense. Otherwise, it will grow lots. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that was my suspicion. And bag and pouch. So I'm thinking elbows and stuff like that. But I reckon you could have a lot of fun with it. If you had something that was a little shapeless, I think you could probably have a lot of fun with it. Wendy says, that's funny. I'm just increasing across a row and I've got a page of chicken scratchings for workings. There are quite a few good little computer things where you can put in your numbers and it will spit you out a solution. Depending on whether you're knitting flat or knitting in the round, you can have a little hunt through and just see, because it will depend on whether you want them to be evenly spaced or whether you want them across a row, or whether you want your increases or decreases to be even around a tube. So there's different ones out there. I have talked about that over in Wardrobe Toolbox, and I can't remember if I've put it on the new site yet, but there's a tool, I might have actually, there's a tool that we have for doing changes to things like sleeves, and there's like a magic equation you can do. So that's quite useful as well to use that. It's for a summer top. Oh, perfect. I think that sounds like it might be quite good, Becky, that denim. As long as it's not like, it sort of has a bit of slouch to it. I think it would look pretty cool, because I think that's how it wants to be. Denim will probably want to be like that. Yay. Yeah. Oh, good. That's excellent, Wendy. Go and have a little look. Okay. So I have a giveaway for you, because, it's giveaway season. And so I have a giveaway for you. Why stop now? And I received, I love Yarnology magazine. Sarah does such a beautiful job of Yarnology magazine. It's a Southern Hemisphere fiber magazine. It doesn't have patterns in it. It's all about the fabulous makers and the fabulous fiber that comes from the Southern Hemisphere. And for a lot, we need that down here, because we have got a lot of fabulous makers and fabulous fibers. So it's just wonderful that she's created this magazine. It used to be digital for a few years, and now it's in print, and it's so nice to touch. It's that lovely creamy surface, the cover, it's just beautiful to touch. And they're just magazines that are a good coffee table size, and the paper is beautiful, and the colors and the photography is beautiful. And I think she does such a lovely job. So Yarnology, I ordered 2. For the last few, I've ordered 2. So I've got one to give you. So this is Summer 22-23, Volume 3. So I bought one for me and one for you. And I'm going to give one of you a magazine. So I thought I don't want to ruin it for you, because I want you to go and get it and enjoy it for yourself. But it has some really fun things in it this time. I wanted to read you the quote from the inside cover, because I thought that was very, it sums up everything, I think. It says, in the rhythm of the stitches, there is music for the soul. And we all know that to be true. It's a quote from Rachel Heron. I don't know who Rachel is. And the rhythm of the stitches, there is music for the soul. So there's all sorts of lovely things in here. There is, there's a lovely new yarn brand in New Zealand, which I must get some myself, called the Grumpy Merino. The name alone is enough to entice me. The Grumpy Merino, it's a young family, which they have a photo of them in here somewhere. A lovely young family in New Zealand who are creating merino knitting yarn and beautiful blankets. So there's a whole article about them. There's quite a lot about old-fashioned knitting, nostalgic knitting. I thought that was quite fun. And then look at these. This is like, I have a thing. I have a love of tiny things. I've always had a love of tiny things. And there's a whole article about micro crochet. Micro crochet. I wanted to show you the page. Look at these. Micro crochet. Tiny, teeny, tiny, 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 tiny crocheted stitches. Absolutely beautiful things that people are making. And then at the back, I thought there was a really good section at the back, the yarn tasting section. I think it's excellent. It's always excellent, but I thought this one was really good. There's a whole lot about mohair, just going through, talking about how it behaves, how to use it, things like that. And then it always has tips and tricks at the back on how to make things. I don't want to give too much of it away to you, but it really is quite beautiful. Oh, there's more yarn tasting in here with Polworths and things. And there's a tips on storing your woolies for the summer, because of course down here we are supposed to be going into summer. That is the plan. And look at these, this photography is just stunning, absolutely stunning, beautiful things to look at, project inspiration for your library. So there's a thing about Shetland. It's lovely, really is lovely. Spinning, for those of you who are spinners, there's a whole lot of stuff about, from the sheep to the sweater. So I won't ruin it. Yes, you do small crochet, but it is next level, Amanda, totally next level. Oh, this might be a nice idea for Christmas stocking stuffer. Yeah, fabulous. I'm not in there. I have been in it before. I was in one of the digital ones. And so there's a big article about me in one of the older ones, the digital versions. That was a few years ago now, but haven't been in the print one so far. Maybe I should write something for Sarah one day and go in it. She usually listens in here too, so she'll probably hear me. Might have to hold me to that, Sarah. Okay, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I've got one for you. So what I'd like you to do is, you know what I'm interested to know? I'm interested to know if you want to go in the draw to win it, let me know. Are you Northern Hemisphere or Southern Hemisphere? I'm really curious to know who's Northern Hemisphere and who's Southern Hemisphere. And then I'll do a random draw. I'll just randomly draw someone next time. And I'll draw the winner for the Yarnology magazine, and I'll get it in the post to you. And fingers crossed, you'll get it before Christmas. So that if you did want to gift it on, you can. And if you want to just enjoy it with a glass of mulled wine, you can do that too. So it's absolutely beautiful. So well done, Sarah. It's another beautiful magazine. And I think you can buy the old editions as well. It's one of those ones that you just store on your shelf and you can go back and dip into. Yeah, I definitely prefer printed as well, Shona. It's just so beautiful. Okie doke, everybody. I actually have a Wardrobe Toolbox call for everyone who is here, who is in Wardrobe Toolbox. Know that we have a call at 11. So I'm going to vanish now and go and get myself ready for that call and organize myself. We're having a fit night. We have fit nights over at Wardrobe Toolbox where everybody can bring their questions about how to make things fit and what's gone wrong. And I don't know about this one on me and all of that kind of stuff. And it's really fun. We do them on Zoom. And we enjoy them a lot. So we're about to have a fit night. We have them at all different times. So I will see those people at 11, and which is about 20 minutes away. And the rest of you, I will see you next week. I've got this pattern that I'm wearing. I'm bringing it out next week. So this is Sesha. It's a little summer top with the short sleeves, and it's got a slight A-frame bottom. It's got these lovely little rolled edges. That pattern will be out next week for you. So absolutely, can't wait. I can't wait to give you this one. People in Wardrobe Toolbox have loved it. So I'm really looking forward to releasing it to everybody else. So I will see you next week. Someone said, I'm in the Southern Hemisphere because I'm just up the road from you, but I can't see your name. So hopefully when I go over to Facebook and YouTube to choose someone, I will see who you are. Okay, everybody, I'll catch you next week. Have a lovely week. The sun is coming. Bring it on. I say, bring it on. And I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Catch you later.